Good morning, exchangers. Happy Monday. Welcome to week 2. I think I mentioned to you guys that I was away for the weekend at a conference. It's the largest national conference of college writing teachers in the country, like 2,500 other faculty members. So I'm feeling inspired to get back to you guys, like more formally, to be back in my office. But here's a fun twist. My little kiddo is feeling sick. Oh. Say hi.
Hi.
So, I thought it'd be fun to just be real with you guys because I know that you're probably trying to get your schoolwork done, your journalist work done, and you might have a little distraction running around too. But remember, it's an online class and you can get creative and just practice different techniques for getting things done. So, this is my way of encouraging you to keep going. But one of the things that I really wanted to share with you from my time away, something that I've believed in for quite a while as an editor-in-chief, is it has to do with your languages and your voice. And it's something I've never taken the time to really put down anywhere. And so while I was away at the conference, I added something to our syllabus on my Lemire102.weebly.com page on the About 102 page. When we're talking about these course learning outcomes, like you're going to write a thesis statement and a 10 to 12 page paper and you'll synthesize sources, etc., I feel like our heads are bombarded with these images and these ideas, these expectations for what our writing is supposed to be. And even more in this current era where computers are capable of crafting pretty impressive language, I think it is imperative that we talk about what the human voice sounds like and what your voice sounds like, and that we begin, if we haven't started already, to challenge that voice and to challenge some of the expectations that have been asked of all of us, to abandon the voices of our families, the voices of our friends, our original language, the words we feel most comfortable using to express ourselves, the metaphors, the tones, the styles. And I'm just going to be kind of vague right now because it's such a giant conversation. But when I was emailing you guys and saying, if you write it, it's right, that's part of what I'm trying to get at here, is that I want you to use your voice, your tone, your language. And you can read that statement in my syllabus if you want a greater sense for this. I called it affirmation of languages. And the idea is that you need to write with your own language and or your own unique voice. If we think about this magazine, how boring would it be if we turn the page and every article, just one second, Hila, and every article is a writer attempting to sound like an academic or a professional. Eventually that becomes quite monotone. So how can we blend styles and mix styles in order to create really unique voices from page to page? Okay, I'm going to move on so that we can get through all the other stuff. Make sure that if you haven't replied yet to other journalists and their bios, get in there and affirm each other's languages, affirm each other in our unique identities, our writerly selves, our journalist histories and aspirations, because it's time to start using that energy to roll forward into the pitches, which is what we are actually going to write about or write to explore this quarter. So in the links below, you're going to see a link to the Pitches project, which again takes you out to my website. And I really beg you to please watch video 1, 2, and 3 at the top of the page. The first video is a bit about exchangers. It's really how you can figure out what kinds of topics are going to fit with our magazine, which kinds of topics are going to be approved. My experience is that when people watch that video, I don't have to correct any pitches. I don't have to reshape or guide any pitches because it's pretty self-explanatory once you listen to that first video. The second video is developing a pitch through research. It's not as formal as it sounds. That's why I made a video, because I wanted to show you that the Google skills that you already have, the web surfing, the doom scrolling habits, all of that can actually come in handy for helping you to craft a viable pitch this quarter, or maybe even a pitch that surprises you. And then the third video, stasis theory, is just another way to kind of round out and make sure that you're headed in the right direction. Specifically because a lot of people, once you listen to video 1, which talks about writing a fresh or unique pitch, a lot of people come up with good ideas for informative writing, but not necessarily exigences, like which is explained in the first video, but basically how to solve something, how to make something better, how to leave it better than we found it, etc. So if you crash through all 3 of those videos, that will help you to get a good sense for how to succeed this week and really all quarter long. I do encourage you that if you pitch it, it doesn't have to be perfectly fleshed out. So you could say, I feel like this is fresh, but how could I make it fresher? Or I know that this is a problem that needs to be solved. I just don't know yet how to solve it. And you don't have to have all of the answers. You just need to have this kind of framework in your mind to help you identify what would be viable pitches. Here's what I feel like I don't do enough of. Hold on. Sorry. I don't do enough of this on the pitches page. I don't tell you to tap into or if you will, Google search within yourself. And I really mean that. I do think it's so important to take some full, well-rounded time to tap into who you are and what kinds of things you want to write about, what kinds of things you want to know about, what kind of issues you wish you just had more time to spend your mind and your body and your heart understanding. And that could make this quarter more worth it if you had more of a personal connection or a personal curiosity for what you're pursuing. I feel in some ways like what that does by thinking about your life experiences, your personal dreams, pursuits, interests, kind of the stuff that makes up, your unique fabric. I think if you're willing to kind of do some of that internal digging to help you develop a writing project, maybe even realizing that you are going to be able to bring in personal evidence or the first person voice, like I, me, myself, into your writing, that also is a way to get that effect I was talking about at the start of this video, where every page turn we find a new voice, a new human, a new lens, a new perspective. You are the only you. And that makes a magazine so much richer when we have multiple voices sharing stories, sharing pieces that only you could create. You want to develop a piece that the person next to you could not develop because they don't have your language, they don't have your life experiences, they don't have your lens or perspective. And that's what we're aiming for. Okay, you guys, I'm going to cut it off here and just say that I'm available on email. I'm available to chat on the phone or Zoom if you need it. If you're the kind of learner who really does best if you get to bounce ideas off of someone. But also know that the board itself, you're posting by Thursday night with your 3 pitches. The board itself is a sounding board. It's a place to say, okay, this is what I think is sort of in the realm of an exchanger's pitch. Here's some ideas that I think I want to run with. And then you're going to respond to each other by Sunday with remarks about how you think we could strengthen things, which ones are, your favorites. So let's say Amber posts, don't do that. Let's say Amber posts 3 pitches and some people are like, number 2, that's the one I really want to read. Or, no, I like number 3. You're just kind of fielding the ideas. If you get to the end of the week and you don't like any of your pitches and you have a spark of genius, then yes, you can have that. And you want to do something else, that's cool too. You're not tied down to anything, but we need to be generative right now. We need to be coming up with stuff. And if I can manage it, I will also provide you guys a space by the very end of the week or probably next Monday to give away pitches. So if you choose pitch number 3, you can give away pitch number 1 and 2. Oh, that's really sweet. You can give away pitch number 1 and 2 to the group, just in case somebody else wants your pitch.
Mommy,
yes,
I put this in the picture so they can see what it looks like in the office.
It's a star. Everybody gets a crystal star this morning. Yeah. Okay, you guys, have an awesome week. And I wish you the best of luck with your online learning, your multitasking, your juggling. But most of all, I just wish for you that you will produce an idea this week that gives you personal fulfillment throughout the rest of the quarter. And don't write for me. Write something for you if you can. If you can talk yourself into it, if you can find that, write something for you, write something for each other, and let's produce an awesome magazine this quarter.